We're on.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Another day and another Stoic.
It is June 7th, and today we are going to continue our conversation from the last few days with the entry, Finding the Right Mentors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, me too. I need to find some.
Okay, Seneca says, "We like to say that we don't get to choose our parents, that they were given by chance. Yet we can truly choose whose children we'd like to be."
That's a sort of sweet way to looking at a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's cool. Is that it for the quote?
That's it for
Oh,
the
okay,
quote.
cool. Wow, that's very cool.
I mean, when I hear that, it makes me think that, there's a whole bunch of mentors that I have that I've never met, that I've just read something they wrote or listened to some talks that they gave or listened to their podcasts. And those would all fall into the category of like people whose child I would want to be.
And it's interesting because you might say like, oh, that's not cool. Like you're saying then that your parents were not mentors for you, and it's like, no, I don't see it like that. I see it like I can see it like that too. That someone might see it like that, right? But I also am like, no, they are mentors, but also like you don't have to renounce your parents.
Yeah.
But yeah, just using it as kind of like a compass to find the right mentors. Like, oh, like if this guy, if I can imagine to be like he's my dad and he's like talking to me about it, like, oh my god, this guy would be so awesome, right? Or something, yeah, in that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody has strengths and weaknesses, and so your parents can really only mentor you in a specific way.
Yeah.
And so is everyone else. That's why it's mentors plural, not mentor one.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I trust this person with this thing, and I would never trust that thing with this other person because they don't know anything about it.
That's a very good point. It's not one mentor. It's multiple mentors, maybe sequentially one after another, or perhaps you have two or three for different subjects.
Right.
At the same time. Okay. So that's a different way because like sometimes like you have to have a mentor. It's this one thing, this guy or lady who's going to be telling me what to do, right? Or something like it could have this kind of a weird thing versus like, oh no, mentorship is more about like, no, you're like a really good expert in this. So help me understand it. I'm also interested.
Yeah, it's domain specific.
Domain specific, yes. Some book we were reading was talking about like having this, and it just kind of
multiple mentors,
like multiple mentors, like financial advisor, and then and something like something about.
Oh yeah, it was like a story from I think the Power of Moments book where it was talking about like kind of an HR initiative to connect people who worked there with these like kind of lifestyle mentors who like, because your job isn't going to help you like do your financial planning or I don't know, there was like a whole bunch of things in that area that like the HR was then saying, okay, we want to start offering this to the people who work here so that we can make other parts of their life better, not just the time they spend at work.
That's a great what a great service for companies to provide that like mentorship to their employees from those other areas, because they're like, we know that you're a programmer and you're working there 60 hours a week and then you're going home to your 2 kids or something and then you have to sleep at some point, right? Like, so when are you doing your health or your finances or your fitness, let's say, these types of, so it's for sure, it's a multifaceted life. Yeah. And the work sometimes takes such a giant portion of it that it pulls us to be in that domain, and now we're not paying attention to these other domains, or it's easier not to pay attention to those other domains. So, and then each of those domains have mentors in them, and that's kind of what we want to seek. That's cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like I have a lot of mentors who I follow their work, and a lot of them don't even know who I am. Some of them know who I am, but a lot of them don't. And it's kind of been a question on my mind, like, how legitimate is that? Is there something missing from like having, this physical person in my life that's face to face with me, that's just like level talking with me? And I would like that. It's just not, it's not what life has presented to me so far. So then I just have to be...
Or maybe you don't know how to find them, or whatever, it's not connecting like that.
That's not... Right now. Life is just not delivering that to me at the moment. So it's like... there are some people I work with individually. But this is helpful in the regard of sort of like expanding it out and like legitimizing for me that like, yes, I am part of this network of improvement. And I have found like the people above me who are a little bit farther than me along these various paths that I find important in my life. And I'm sort of going after their coattails, so to speak, but in my own way, and pulling myself forward. And it's not that important for the mentor to be this physical person in my life.
Gotcha. So you're saying you can find mentors in places where the mentor is not necessarily involved with you, like reading a book, let's say, of a person who you might consider them to be your mentor, and then they're writing books. So you're reading those books, and those books are mentoring you, or they are mentoring you through those books, but they don't necessarily know you. Or you're having these more Zoom calls with someone, and then you can spit, because the mentorship, and I like what you're saying, because there's all of this mentoring out there available in the forms of education videos and these types of books and this kind of stuff. But then there is something about having a conversation and just be one-on-one, because you observe different things from that, and like behavioral things, and then you start maybe mirroring those behaviors, and because you start mirroring them, now you actually turn around and you start behaving towards the other world with these newly formed neuron-y kind of way of how you present yourself. And I can see that there's like a lot of benefit to actually have the face-to-face stuff with people, and because this could be Zoom, this is just like a interaction both ways.
That is 100. In marketing, for example, I've been self-mentoring through courses, books, and all of this kind of stuff, and felt like I was kind of going in circles, like what we were talking about the other day. And then it wasn't until I got the one-on-one coach that it felt like, okay, now she's sort of like slapping me in this direction and like, stop it, like, don't do that anymore, like, do this, and I'm just like, I'm growing at a much faster pace than I would be able to if I were just sort of like self-navigating the space. But I think there's other times in which I've gotten more from self-navigating than I have from the people that life brought me for that thing.
Of course. Or there is not even an opportunity to
have a person.
Yeah, because those mentors are probably mentors to others as well, and they have also their things in their lives, so they can be mentoring 24/7, right? So and to thousands and thousands of people. So those opportunities are, they present themselves, and then like, go do that, because it is important to have that face-to-face, one-on-one type of, or one-to-group, whatever that is, that's important. That interaction is both ways. But until then, you can still find mentors that produce their output is really kind of the guide to how to mentor yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. There's so many different things with mentoring. It also, what Robert Greene was saying about mentorship, I really found it really interesting that mentors want to mentor, but they don't want to initiate mentorship. And I found it so profound when I was like, oh my God, of course they don't want to. Why would they want to come to some kid and say, hey kid, I'm going to teach you about life, blah, blah, blah. Like that's actually would not be a very mentor-like. That's not a feature you want to find in your mentor, a preacher, right? So then the connection or the interaction needs to happen from the guy who's down here who doesn't know, who's seeking mentors. He has to actually go and reach to those mentors in order for those mentors to say, oh wow, this kid is somebody I would like to mentor. And now it's a connection because mentors are not there to just waste their time. They also want to spend their time mentoring people where they see progress and just change, and that makes those mentors feel incredible. Like that's why they want to be mentoring. And so
you have to be hungry.
Finding it is like connecting. It comes from this bottom up thing.
Yeah, you have to be hungry for it. And I would say that's true, like even if you're going the self-mentoring route, like because you have to be the one to say, I'm going to read this 400-page book.
For sure.
I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take my free time out of my day. I'm going to look up the big words that I don't know. I'm going to force myself to understand paragraphs that I just flashed over, because I'm like reading in a haze. And so, it's always like the mentee, like I have to be the one seeking learning opportunities everywhere that I can. I have to be hungry for it. Yeah. Because there's that saying, like the Buddhist saying, like that when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yes.
And so then my job is to put myself...
It's not the other way, right? It's not when the teacher is ready, student appears.
Right.
Also, it could essentially, and now that I think about it, like, that's actually probably right.
Because when the teacher is ready to teach, students appear. That is true too. I think it is.
But it is from the student to the teacher, right? When the student is ready, teacher appears. The student needs to also be the one who's reaching for it, going to it, asking it, not just saying, not doing what I've done actually a lot of times was like, why does nobody want to mentor me? Like getting this, like nobody reaches out to me. Like my uncle, like he's so smart, like he's all like this business guy, and like he would like teach me all this stuff. Like, why does he never reach out to me? Like, doesn't he see potential that I could be kind of like him? I could be successful like him. He doesn't see that. Like, this is how I was looking at it. And it's like, well, no, it's up to me to keep reaching out to them.
Yeah, for all he knows, like you're not...
I'm not interested.
Exactly.
Yeah. But nevertheless, that does exist, where you are sitting and saying, why is nobody reaching out to me? They know me. They know I'm a young person who needs to do something in life. Why are they not reaching out to me and telling me how to do things, right? And it's like, well, should I go reach out to them? Ooh, it's uncomfortable to ask for something because it's humbling. You have to humble yourself down. I don't know and I need help. I need help. That is hard to do. And as a kid, you're not ready to go through these hard this hurts, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You're not ready for it. You want to avoid it, and then now you're not asking. And
you might be ready for it if you grew up with an example in your parents or something like that of like them being really humble and. But if you, when you're a kid, you're just a mirror of
your surrounding.
Yeah,
not just parents. But
your whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah. Because this is not. to blame one person or a group of people. No, it's just like, who knows where I learn to be uncomfortable to ask for help. Like, I don't know, I can't call it the exact spot, you know.
I mean, maybe it wasn't like an overt uncomfortability that other people had. Maybe it was just like there was a lack of modeling of asking for help.
That's right.
And because there's a lack of modeling,
then that's
why
not
would it
normal.
enter your head?
Yeah,
it would never enter your head to say, "Let me ask for help." There's no framework developed to have that thought.
So asking for help is part of mentorship or mentor relationship. I can see that in there, right? Like
For sure.
Humbling and asking for help is part of finding a mentor. Oh, that's so nice. That's such a different way of looking at it. So fun. Cool. Let's Ryan this bad boy.
Let's Ryan the bad boy. Ryan says, "We are fortunate enough that some of the greatest men and women in history have recorded their wisdom and folly in books and journals. Many others have had their lives chronicled by a careful biographer, from Plutarch to Boswell to Robert Caro. The literature available at your average library amounts to millions of pages and thousands of years of knowledge, insight, and experience. Maybe your parents were poor role models, or you lacked a great mentor. Yet, if we choose to, we can easily access the wisdom of those who came before us, those whom we aspire to be like. We not only owe it to ourselves to seek out this hard-won knowledge, we owe it to the people who took the time to record their experiences, to try to carry on the traditions and follow their examples, to be the promising children of these noble parents."
That's cool. There's one more thing that came up there, like I was like, oh, like maybe I asked for mentorship, but it was maybe a wrong time for the mentor because they were busy doing other things that they were, you know, and I took it as, okay, that person can never be my mentor going forward. Like it's almost like I put it in some sort of a book of like okay, that person, like I like them. It's no, I don't. It's like I don't know, but the option of them mentoring me is off the table. But it's not off the table. It's just at that time it's off the table.
Right.
Now, so a few years later, I can be like, hey, remember that mentorship I was asking about? Like, is this a good time? Or something different than thinking this person is gone. They didn't accept me then. Therefore, they will never accept me anytime in the future. Yeah, so interesting. You got anything else?
I feel buttoned up on this one.
Sweet.
Nicely done.
Very cool.
Alrighty, my friend. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Leave us a comment, please, with something. I don't know, just something.